Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you to the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland this afternoon to conferring ceremonies. Before declaring open the conferring ceremonies, may I introduce the platform party. At the very front of the stage, in the centre, is Professor Laura Vianney, President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. At the back of the platform, from your right, is Professor Michael Keane, Pro-President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland, Ms. Anya Gibbons, Director of Development, Alumni Relations, Fellows and Members at RCSI, Dr. Philip Carolyn, Dean of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine of RCPI and RCSI, Dr. Patricia Cunningham, Dean-elect of the Faculty of Radiologists of RCSI, Ms. Emma Scally, Professional and Postgraduate Examinations Manager at RCSI, Mr. Richard Egan, Treasurer of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine, Dr. Jerome Coffey, Faculty Officer from the Faculty of Radiologists of RCSI, Professor Kevin Barry, Director of National Surgical Training Programs at RCSI, Mr. James Geraghty, Council Member and Citation Reader from RCSI, Professor Hiram Polk, our Honorary Fellow recipient, and my name is Cathal Kelly, CEO Registrar of RCSI. To formally open the proceedings, Presidents, members of councils, deans, past presidents, members of faculty boards, fellows of the college and faculties, we'll now commence with the proceedings with the award of the Honorary Fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. Today, we're delighted to welcome our recipient of the Honorary Fellowship Award, Dr. Hiram Polk, the Ben A. Reid Professor and Chair Emeritus of the Department of Surgery of the University of Louisville School of Medicine. The President, Professor Laura Vianney, will confer our Honorary Fellowship on the candidate. I would now like to invite Mr. James Geraghty, Council Member of RCSI, to come forward and read the citation for Dr. Hiram Polk.
Thank you. Madam President, past presidents, members of council, fellows, members and guests. It gives me great pleasure to recommend Dr. Hiram C. Polk for the award of Honorary Fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. I am delighted to have been given the honour of delivering this citation and to welcome Dr. Polk, along with his wife Susan, to RCSI today. I can think of no better day to celebrate the life and career of one of America's great surgeons, today, the 4th of July, America's Independence Day. Dr. Polk spent much of his surgical career as the Ben A. Reid Professor and Chairman of Surgery, School of Medicine at the University of Louisville, Kentucky, between 1971 to 2005. He is indeed one of the true giants of American surgery, and during his career established an international reputation in areas such as prophylactic antibiotic use to reduce surgical site infections, burn care, several areas of surgical oncology, and trauma surgery. He has made many contributions in the development of contemporary surgical training methods and models. Dr. Polk is a native of Jackson, Mississippi, and a graduate of the Millsaps College, Jackson, Mississippi. He got his MD at Harvard Medical School, Boston, Massachusetts in 1960, and trained in surgery at Washington University of St. Louis. He became Associate Professor of Surgery at the University of Miami Medical School, during which time he was a Research Associate in Experimental Pathology in the Lister Institute in London, prior to taking up his position as Chair of Surgery in Louisville, Kentucky in 1971. His CV gives testimony to his dedication to all aspects of surgery, including clinical practice, research, education and training, as well as administrative responsibilities. He has published over 500 peer-reviewed publications, 150 book chapters, and has edited or authored 12 books. His dedication to training surgeons of the future is demonstrated by the fact that whilst Chair of Surgery at Louisville, he trained more than 400 surgical residents, all of whom achieved board certification. During this time, he mentored 18 PhD candidates. His named lectures and chairmanships of boards are simply too numerous to mention. Dr. Polk has served as president of a number of prestigious associations, including the American Surgical Association, the Society of the University of Surgeons, the Society of Surgical Oncology, as well as the International Surgical Group, amongst many others. He is on the editorial board of many journals, but I would like to highlight in particular that he was editor-in-chief of the American Journal of Surgery from 1986 to 2004. He was feted with an unprecedented issue of this journal in his honour in August 2005. He has several previous honorary fellowships, including the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh, the Japanese Surgical Society, the Royal College of Surgeons in England, and the American Society of Colon and Rectal Surgeons, amongst others. It should be noted that Dr. Polk shares two specific interests in common with Ireland: a love of thoroughbred horse racing and a discriminating taste in whisky. He is one of the founding members of the Jockey Club Thoroughbred Safety Committee in 2008, and indeed is now a steward of the Jockey Club. I am reliably told that his favourite whisky is Kentucky Bourbon, but I do hope you'll reconsider once he savours our Irish equivalents. Dr. Polk was appointed Commissioner of Health and Public Safety for Kentucky by its governor, a position in which he served until 2017. On his retirement, an endowed chair was established in his name at the University of Louisville, the Dr. Hiram C. Polk Chair of Surgery. In summary, his curriculum vitae is both inspirational and aspirational for surgeons at all stages of their career. So, Madam President, it is a privilege to present to you Dr. Hiram C. Polk, whom I'm sure you will wholeheartedly agree is worthy of the highest distinction that this college has to offer, the Honorary Fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
I, Hiram Polk, do solemnly and sincerely declare that I will observe and be obedient to the statutes, bylaws, and ordinances of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. And I will, to the utmost of my power, endeavor to promote the reputation, honor, and dignity of this college.
By virtue of my office as President, I admit you an Honorary Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
May I sign?
You sign it there? Yep.
Sure.
Well done. Great honor. It's a great honour for us. Great honour. Thank you.
We now proceed to the conferring of fellowship and memberships of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. And I invite Professor Kevin Barry, Director of the National Surgical Training Programme of RCSI, to come to the lectern to introduce the candidates.
Thank you, Cathal. I am delighted to invite the candidates for the fellowship and membership of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, including addendum candidates, to please rise and recite the declaration in unison with me. The declaration is listed on page 8 of your booklet. I do solemnly and sincerely declare and promise that I will observe and be obedient to the statutes, bylaws, and ordinances of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, and that I will, to the utmost of my power, endeavour to promote the reputation, honour, and dignity of the said college. I promise to place the welfare of my patients above all else. I promise to be respectful of my fellow healthcare professionals and will readily offer them my assistance and support. I further promise to continue to learn and teach and maintain my competence for the benefit of my patients, trainees, and the society in which I serve. I will now ask the fellows to remain standing. Members, you may take your seats. I will now present the candidates for Fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and invite the President, Professor Laura Vianney, to admit the new fellows.
By virtue of my office of President, I admit you fellows of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
I will now call on the candidates to come forward individually and receive your parchment from the President. So I'll begin with General Surgery. Ghazi Yaha Ab El-Azim Ismail. Rajesh Kumar Rai. Ophthalmology, Reinhold Goetz. Khalid Wafiq Hassan Kamal. Rory Murphy. In absentia, Anya Nivelod. Neurosurgery, Jahangir Sajad. Oral and maxillofacial surgery, Nicola Mahan. Paul Sexton. Otolaryngology, Mansour Ali Hussein. Pediatric surgery, Danielle McLaughlin. Brendan Rory O'Connor. Plastic surgery, Maura Kathleen Casey. Andreas Estadius. Natalie Grace Jumper. Laura Alicia Carney. Eva Emily O'Grady. Trauma and orthopedic surgery, Mark Burney. Robert Kenyon, Matthew Lee, Nuala Macaulay, Josh Moore, Evelyn Murphy, Fiacra Power, Urology, Aideen Madden, Mohalan Mustafa Mohalan, Thomas O'Hare, I now invite the candidates for the membership of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, including ENT and ophthalmology, to be upstanding, and I invite the President to admit the new members.
By virtue of my office of President, I admit you members of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
Now I will call each of you in turn to come forward to receive your scroll from the President. Said Abdul Razak, Athir Ahmed, Ahmed Mohammed Khalid Al-Fatih Ahmed, Munzir Mohammed Yosef Akasha, Mohammed Anas bin Akhtar, Javed Ali, Mohammed Farhan Ashraf, Sean Barrett, Abdurrahman Chowdhury, Anya Cotter, Maeve Doohan, in abstentia, Umar Farouk, Aoife Gaffney, Neela Rebecca Glynn, Dara Goodman, Mohammed Mays Gul Kakakil, Leah Hayes, Stuart William Jones, Ahmed Kamaluddin, Stephen Keelan, Jack Kennedy, Mohammed Tamoor Khan, Mohammed Uzama Khan, Anna Kinsella, Hayatham Amir Lardi, David Lennon, Z.Y. Adrian Lim, Lyndon Yang Sen Lau, Phoebe Lyons, Yosef Bakri Yosef Mohammed, Aidan O'Dowling, Alva O'Driscoll Collins, Amanda O'Halloran, Omer Abdelrouf Mohammed Omer, Anya O'Neill, Emer Phoenix. Nicola Raftery. Mohammed Saqib Munir Rana. Mohammed Rashid. Anila Razak. Dara Rice. Abdul Rahman Anwar Mohammed Rudwan. Mohammed Mergani Saeed. Rafa Saeed. Hafiq Faisal Shahzad. Osama Shakil. Alexandru Doru Tofan. Hasnain Touhidi. James Ulrich. Himanshu Yadav. ENT Mohammed Al-Miri. Owen Clear. Lee Peppercorn. Ophthalmology, Liam Burke. Aisling McLachen Byrne. Simon Andrew Neary. Anne O'Connell. We now move on to the presentation of the Diploma in Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, and I invite the following candidates to come forward to receive their parchment. Anthony Noon. Gerard Sexton. I now move on to the presentation of the British Association of Paediatric Surgeons Medal. I am delighted to announce that Brendan Rory O'Connor has been awarded the British Association of Paediatric Surgeons Medal by the Intercollegiate Board in Paediatric Surgery for an outstanding performance at the Intercollegiate Specialty Examination in Paediatric Surgery held in Edinburgh on the 22nd and 23rd of September 2021. Brendan, please come forward to receive your medal from the President.
I now invite the Dean-elect of the Faculty of Radiologists, Dr. Patricia Cunningham, to come forward and take her place at the conferring table with the President, and the Faculty Officer, Dr. Jerome Coffey, to introduce the candidates for Fellowship of the Faculty of Radiologists of RCSI.
Thank you. I will now introduce the candidates for the Fellowship of the Faculty of Radiologists. Will the candidates please rise and recite the declaration listed on page 8 of your booklet in unison as follows. I do hereby solemnly and sincerely declare and promise that I will observe and be obedient to the statutes, bylaws, and ordinances of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, and that I will to the utmost of my power endeavour to promote the reputation, honour, and dignity of the said college. I now invite the Dean-elect to admit the new Fellows.
By virtue of my office of Dean-elect, in the presence of the President, I admit you Fellows of the Faculty of Radiologists of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
I will now call each of you in turn to come forward to receive your scroll from the Dean-elect. Shane Davey. Quiva MacDonald. Johnny O'Mahony.
We now move on to the Fellowship and Membership of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine. I'd like to invite Professor Michael Keane, Pro-President of RCPI, and Dr. Philip Carolan, Dean of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine, to come forward and take their place at the conferring table beside the RCSI President. I call on Treasurer Mr. Richard Egan to come to the lectern to introduce the candidates.
Thank you, Cathal. I'm delighted to invite the candidates for Fellowship and Membership of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine, RCPI and RCSI, to please rise as we recite the declaration listed on page 8 of your conferring booklet. I invite you to recite the declaration with me. I do hereby solemnly and sincerely declare and promise that I will observe and be obedient to the statutes, bylaws and ordinances of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. And that I will, to the utmost of my power, endeavour to promote the reputation, honour and dignity of the said college. I'll ask the fellows to remain standing and members can take the seat. I present the candidates for fellowship of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine, and I will invite the Dean to admit the new fellows.
By virtue of my office of Dean, in the presence of the President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and the Pro-President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland, I admit you fellows of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland and the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
I will now call the candidates to come forward and receive your scroll from the Dean. Carthage, Carol. Fanula McAuliffe. I now invite the candidates for membership of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine to be upstanding, and I invite the Dean to admit the new members.
By virtue of my office of Dean, in the presence of the President's RCSI and Pro-President RCPI, I admit you members of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland.
I will now call the candidates to come forward to receive your scroll from the Dean. Alina Blazakova. Mohammed Mosri. Zain Ul Abedin.
It now gives me great pleasure to invite our new Honorary Fellow, Dr. Hiram Polk, to come forward and address the guests this evening.
Take this down. President Vianney, I'm much honored by this occasion. And I would like to, one of our real accomplishments was to keep otolaryngology closely associated with surgery in our department. And we also added on to the program in audiology and speech pathology that have become remarkably successful. Interestingly, our current dean of our medical school for the last decade was professor of otolaryngology. So they provide a special relationship for us in many ways. You know, the interesting thing about this college is it's a proper college. And I guess one of the things that we most enjoyed seeing the simulation center and all that means to this college and the requirements that people take part in the program and pass the test. That's a very important endeavor. It's not all a blue ribbon program. I think that this is just proper and unique standards, and the contemporary simulation thing has been emulated around the world, but none I saw ever nearly in the high quality class of this. Before I go on, I do want to say something about congratulations to graduates. Their spouse, their parents, and a few amazed mother-in-laws are exactly what we do this afternoon. It's in your honor this occasion goes forward. There are several points that I want to make that are unique to America on our Day of Independence today and your country. The solution of the troubles in Ulster by George Mitchell and the sharing of power was a profoundly important thing. As you know, our country has a number of problems, and we need that kind of peacemaking. But you'd understand that the fact that this has been so good, it's lasted so well, and it becomes a template for what we need to do more and more. Impact of elected leaders. I understand we were a little embarrassed by our previous president, and I don't know what England's going to do with their current prime minister, but that's a special kind of problem. I think I want to make one other comment. Our association, the International Surgical Group, is a very interesting body that I've often called a World War II alumni club. These people weren't deployed for a few months, they were deployed for 4 years. They did a remarkable thing, and this is the second generation of people now who are their children been invited to membership in this and retained with Professor O'Connell's help and leadership, in-person meetings, and continued thing. I would only say, interestingly, from this small group of some 50 surgeons, the last 7 successful PhD graduates in our Price Institute of Surgical Research under Susan's relationship have come from contacts in this college. International contacts are important. You must not stay down a cubbyhole. You need to look at the broader view of what goes on. This is, I do want to say something. Susan Landiak is my wife of 30 years. We've had a remarkable relationship of academia, clinical competence, clinical trials, molecular biology, and a sequence of young people who've trained with us in clinical surgery in the laboratory. They've gone to be a great credit to her, and certainly something great I'll be willing to take credit for in every sense. This is now something special, again, back about Ireland. You would not expect this, but the largest number of immigrants in the United States are the Irish in Kentucky. I will get some credibility at home by having this degree with many people from Ireland in Kentucky. And I want to say briefly about this because I'll tell you more and you want to hear about it, but it's very interesting. John Magner was a senator, and he is a senator of Ireland. He's been the most remarkable person to lead an industrial revolution in something like horse breed. He was the one that had the idea that ultrasound evaluation of a mare's ovaries would predict when she's liable to ovulate and liable to be pregnant from a mating. That was one of their ideas. It also occurred to him as a person thinking 50 years ahead that they would shuttle stallions to Australia and New Zealand. And you understand the breeding life of a stallion is confined to about 6 months, and they spend the next 6 months walking around asking where'd all the girls go. John solved that with incredible profit to your country and everything by loading up the world's most heavily insured 747 and fly them to Sydney or Melbourne. It's a real trip. He's a remarkable person that's done a lot of things, and their partnership at Coolmore has been fairly amazing. It's a partnership that stood the test of time. It's sort of built on Dr. Vincent O'Brien's leadership in the field 40 years ago. And the fact that his daughter is married to John Magner helps him a lot. It's just a remarkable contribution around the world. I'd also want to say that, I'll mention some names you won't know, but there are probably never an example of such a concise leadership in worldwide horse breeding as occurred at Coolmore with Sadler's Wells, followed by Galileo. It reminds a time I was speaking in front of a group of Japanese people who didn't understand my poor Japanese very much, but I was interviewing one of the most famous writers in the world, and I couldn't get any kind of his English is worse than my Japanese, so it was really, really amazing. And at some point, I said, well, tell me what's the best horse you ever rode? in a room of 1,000 people. He said, "That's easy, deep impact." There were 500 surgeons on their feet applauding him. So it's something that you've exported to the world and for which we're very, very glad. I want to also say that for 20 years, 25 years, I've had two graduates of this School of Medicine working in our department. They both now retired. Professor of Head and Neck Surgery, Michael Flynn, Professor of Urologic Surgery, James Harty. They all wore this very proudly. They're a perfect example of real foundation of excellence. The dual hemisphere thing that I've talked about has been hugely changing in favor of Ireland around the world. We began 4 days ago an attempt to emulate what you've done here with drug-free, safe racing, and appropriate penalties for those who deviate in laboratories that you can believe. That began only 4 days ago. It'll represent a new beginning for us. I apologize for that. I wanted to tell you about it. It's something that's been close to my heart. We've worked on that for 14 years. And it takes a long time to get things done. But this kind of occasion is important for all of you. I'm deeply honored to have been here. The thing means a great deal to me personally, and it will give me credibility when I go home among the Irish surgeons. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Polk, and once again, congratulations on your richly deserved award, and great thanks for your leadership and example in surgery in the United States and internationally. And now it gives me enormous pleasure to invite the President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, Professor Laura Vianney, to address us.
I'm not as tall as Carl Kelly. Now, good afternoon, Pro-President of the Royal College of Physicians Ireland, past President Professor Ronan O'Connell, members of Council, the RCSI Vice-Chancellor and CEO, Faculty Officer and Dean-elect of the Faculty of Radiologists, Treasurer and Dean of the Faculty of Sports and Exercise Medicine of the Royal College of Physicians Ireland and the Royal College of Surgeons Ireland, Director of the National Surgical Training Programme, Director of Development, academic staff, family members, friends and supporters, and all those present at this graduation ceremony. And of course, our candidates, our fellows, our members, and particularly our candidate today for the Honorary Fellowship, Dr. Hiram Polk, who has dedicated his professional life to the advancement of excellence in surgical education, clinical practice, and research. He's written over 500 publications. That's a very hard thing to beat, I think. So it's my great pleasure to preside over this conferring ceremony and welcome you all. As the RCSI President, I wish to be among the first to offer my sincere congratulations. On your behalf, I wish to thank your teachers and your mentors, the staff of the Surgical Affairs and Faculty of Radiologists and Sports and Exercise Medicine. Our thanks also to the RCSI Student Academic and Regulatory Affairs for the successful delivery of your examinations culminating in conferral today. This ceremony is a fitting recognition of the hard work and commitment that you've shown in your studies and your training and practice over the last number of years. All the platform party and the RCSI staff understand the hard work, commitment and the challenges faced while working clinically and also studying for professional exams. And with the added recent pressures of living through extraordinary difficult times with the healthcare system during the pandemic. Postgraduate certificates of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland are prestigious, internationally recognised qualifications. Holding an RCSI postgraduate qualification demonstrates to colleagues, peers and employers alike your knowledge, clinical skills, professionalism and commitment to his or her practice. So well done. These professional qualifications also recognise your ability to use your intellectual knowledge and critical thinking in the clinical setting, skills which are vital for a successful professional career which lies ahead. Your qualifications also open up a world of wonderful opportunity as you continue on an exciting journey, which will allow you to pursue further training and practice in your various specialties throughout the world. As you continue on your professional life journey, you will already understand that the health sciences have undergone a remarkable revolution with explosion of new knowledge, scientific, pharmacological and technical discoveries have given us an understanding of disease mechanisms that would have been unimaginable when I was at your stage in my career. These developments, in addition to the power of big data, will allow us to analyse health outcome data and will radically transform healthcare management in future years. Ongoing advances in knowledge transfer and healthcare management systems will not only continue but also accelerate in your lifetime. And while these will challenge you, they will give you an opportunity for intellectual stimulation that will demand constant re-evaluation of your knowledge and professional skills. However, despite all the exciting advances and the opportunities that the practice of the health sciences offer, medical practice and medical diagnostics have never been under greater challenge in most societies throughout the world. Medical costs have increased greater than economic expansion, particularly in the Western world, in a manner that most of us consider unsustainable. This, coupled with greater patient and societal expectations of flawless care and the increasing complexity of many of the conditions that we treat, has placed a spotlight on how we all practice. Increasing regulatory agencies around the world have promoted greater scrutiny of outcomes and professional behaviour. Repeatedly, we see in all jurisdictions instances where doctors can have difficulty understanding these changes. It is clear that healthcare professionals of the future will have to work differently to those of previous generations. The ability to work effectively in teams requires a greater degree of interpersonal leadership skills, to communicate and collaborate within teams of medical and nursing staff and with other healthcare disciplines in addition to patients. Patients and their families also have greater expectations and will demand greater control over the decision-making of their health matters. And to do this in a chaotic and under-resourced healthcare environment is challenging, to say the least. The medical legal environment, as a consequence of these challenging times, will mean that risk management will require greater attention, with the ultimate aim of improving patient outcomes, provide more equitable and efficient care, and consequently protect not only patients but also yourselves. While this may sound quite daunting, it is our belief that the professional qualifications that you have received today give each of you the skills to negotiate this complex healthcare environment. Medicine, medical diagnostics and healthcare remain one of the most fulfilling of professions. It is our sense of empathy and social duty that makes our professions one of the most trusted in the surveys of societal trust around the world. Advocacy for patients and empathetic care must remain central to all that we do. And remember, it is such a privilege to look after patients. It is also increasingly apparent that no healthcare system can fully support all the healthcare needs of society. So it is important to be not only an advocate for each of your patients, but also understand the broader societal needs in the communities you will work in, and use the resources at your disposal carefully. For many of our membership awardees, it is likely that your most difficult challenge initially would be to select what career path you should choose among the diverse specialties which exist within your subject. And having already made that decision earlier in their careers, fellows conferred here today must not only manage and maintain their professional development, but to reach their full professional potential, should also contribute to the training of more junior colleagues, contribute to your professional organisations, and engage constructively with the healthcare administration structures you work in. To support you in such journeys and manage the challenges all healthcare professionals face, we would not only encourage you to maintain the strong links you have with RCSI, but we would also encourage you to form close bonds with those you work with. Today is also a time to acknowledge the commitment of the teachers and trainers who taught and supported you over the last number of years. It is their endeavours which are giving you the skills to practice medicine and which will allow you to make a significant contribution to the well-being of the communities in which you will work. RCSI is proud to develop healthcare leaders who make a difference worldwide. This is our ambition for you today. All of you who received your degrees today, you will add to the growing body of RCSI fellows, members and diplomats who are making such a difference worldwide and with whom we are so rightly proud of. And clearly there are difficulties within our health service, but despite the current challenges facing medicine in Ireland, I firmly believe that it is only by all of us working together collaboratively that we can improve our health service and consequently our patient care, and also the conditions under which our trainees and those appointed to surgical posts, etc., within the health service and private sector can practice. We acknowledge today the support of your families who've supported you. We acknowledge all those who have made sacrifice to support your career and are very proud of your achievements. Finally, let me congratulate you again, our new RCSI fellows, members and diplomats. For those of you working in Ireland, we thank you for your continuing dedication to our health service. For those leaving Ireland to embark on professional careers abroad, we wish you safe travels and every fulfilment in your careers. And to those of you currently living and working overseas, we welcome you to the college, and I hope that you'll always be proud to think of RCSI as your college. So I wish you every success in your professional and personal lives, and I'm confident that passing these milestones in your career will equip you well for the challenges you will encounter in your further training and future careers. And finally, I hope that you will take time to reflect on this day and on the motto of this college you've now joined, Concilio Manique, by scholarship and dexterity. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of the day with your families.
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal proceedings for this afternoon. Can I take the opportunity to thank our portering, our states and conference and events teams for making this afternoon possible. Once again, sincere congratulations to our new fellows, members and diplomats. And we'd like to take the opportunity to invite you, your family and guests to join us for a reception in the College Hall and Boardroom. And if I could finally ask you to be upstanding for the outward procession. Thank you.